welcome back. So, I thought I would talk a little bit about my opinion on eBay shipping. So, I guess I'll go back to the beginning. Okay, so when I first started reselling, um, I had no idea. I had no idea. At that time, I did not have YouTube to watch other people doing it and, you know, uh, talking about how they did it. I learned pretty quickly that the shipping is evolves quite a bit. I mean, it evolves from the postal service changing things, from increasing their fees and things, um, to eBay making adjustments here and there. So, um, so I learned that pretty quickly. And of course, I had made the mistake of using flat rate shipping. And my mistake, in my opinion, was that I tried to do flat rate shipping when I didn't understand exactly how to do the weights and things. I know at that time, a lot of people were saying, okay, just make sure your weight is in there. Don't worry about the dimensional rate or the dimensions of what you're going to use because sometimes you don't know what box you're going to use. Um, so thinking about that and, um, this most recent, um, yeah, it's definitely a change where if you use calculated shipping, then the discount that you're getting is passed on to the customer. I guess I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. So, all right. So I made mistakes, lots of mistakes with the flat rate. And frequently it would be on my end where I would lose out because I didn't take into account the box, that it was going to add a little more weight. Okay, if it's a glass item, then I'm going to need to add a lot of packing, and that packing is going to have weight. So I really just I was off on my figuring. So with experience, I've gotten much better at that, at figuring that out. Um so yeah, and then I dabbled in free shipping, and I thought to myself, "Oh my god, this is crazy." I'm like, and okay, maybe I shouldn't have said it that way. Um, because I was getting into more trouble with the free shipping. Because then if there's an increase, a fee increase, with the postal service or one of the services, then my free shipping is now reduced the value of the item, or I have to go in and increase a little bit the amount of my item. So I'm like, free shipping doesn't make sense to me. Okay, this is all my opinion. And flat rate shipping does not make sense to me. So some would say flat rate is better because then it's just the same price for somebody who is in the next state over versus, like, I'm on the East Coast. So somebody in on the East Coast is going to pay the same as somebody in California. Okay. Now, in my mind, calculated shipping is better. Um, Again, my opinion. Um, because I can give the discount to somebody that is close to me, like the next state over or the same state. Now, I don't see it making sense to penalize all the East Coast customers on my items because I want to make sure that the West Coast is going to pay the same thing. I don't mind giving that discount to East Coast. Um, so you can look at it either way. You really can. But now, I was one of the ones that got the email about the opt-in calculated shipping because um I think I think now all of my listings are calculated shipping. Um so before that, yeah, it was nice to have that little bit of um extra off the shipping. It was nice. But I found that ever since the shipping is now shown, the discount is shown to the customers are seem to be buying a little bit more. Could be a coincidence. I don't think so. I think a lot of people, there are definitely a lot of people out there that when they're buying, they just look for the lowest price and maybe they'll purposely look for something that says free shipping. I think of more people nowadays are a little more savvy to that and you can sort lowest cost price plus shipping. Um, so the free shipping doesn't necessarily mean as much as it used to. Plus the fact that you kind of know that when you do a comparison and you're looking at items, you see, okay, this person is $35 in free shipping. Okay, but there's another person charging for the same item $25 plus shipping. Who is really cheaper? So, yeah. So, the other thing that I've been doing for a very long time, and I know a lot of people weren't doing this, is I've been paying attention to the dimensions of the boxes. So, when I create a listing, I not only put in the weight that I believe it's going to be, I also put in most items. I pretty much know which boxes that I'm going to use for shipping. And a lot of that comes with experience. Some of it I have to estimate because I have a certain boxes, such as I use a 655, 864, and a 1086 box. Those are the three that I use the most. And then I have padded envelopes for things like clothing, different things. And there's certain dimensions on those. So I pretty much know what I'm going to use for packing and that when I get ready to ship or when I'm listing. When I'm doing the listing, I pretty much know that already. So, okay, sorry about that. My cat was getting into something, so I had to go and see what she was getting into. Um, all right, so yeah, I am not upset about eBay doing what they did and giving that discount to the buyer because I believe it is helping sellers get more. It makes us a little bit more competitive. Um, and it wasn't a heck of a lot that it was getting off of the um, shipping. It was usually a small amount. Once in a great while, it would be like a wildly different amount that was paid, and usually I would refund a lot of the difference because it just didn't make sense. And frankly, I was just happy that a customer just paid it anyways. And I had so many times I've had people when they give me the feedback rating, they'll actually mention that that I was refunded some of the shipping because the shipping was a little high. And how they appreciated I did that. They didn't even have to ask me to do that because in my one of my policies, I actually have that written that combined shipping when ordering multiple things, and I'm going to be fair with it. It's I actually have that in my policy, so if people actually read that stuff, sometimes I don't think people tend to read the fine print. Um, so yeah, I'm definitely not upset about it. I wanted to take the time for it to start being used in that, and actually looking at how it was. And sure enough, when somebody buys an item, it's charging me, for an example, $6.14, and then it says customer paid shipping, $6.14. So yeah, I am not upset about that. Um, I feel like that's going to bring more buyers in. And I think that's what eBay was intending, trying to. So many different things on different platforms have been changing back and forth in that, and they had to do something to, stay current. So now there are other things in the past that eBay's done that I didn't quite agree with, but I won't get into that right now. That's why I just wanted to talk about a little bit about that with the shipping and that. And I do believe that doing your listings not only with the weight but the dimensions of the boxes is making a bigger difference. If you start putting those dimensions in when you do your listing, I think you'll be much happier. I think that's why some people were getting upset, because it really is making more of a difference these days. The calculated shipping, in my opinion, is a better way to go, because when there's a change, calculated will change with it. You don't have to sit there and worry about going back in and changing, or bulk editing a bunch of your listings, because the shipping rates have changed, and it doesn't make sense. It's just making more work in the end, or you're going to end up on the losing end of it eventually. So calculated just makes more sense to me. I would rather give the discount to everybody that I can. Obviously, people on the East Coast are going to be a lot happier with my shipping rate than somebody out of California. But you know something? Even the way I do it, I still sell a ton to California. So, and I figure now the way it is with the discount going to the customer as well, probably going to be even more. So yeah, flat rate shipping does not make sense to me. Free shipping is making way less sense to me these days, the way things are. So yeah, I guess that's where I'm at. I just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I see things going back and forth, and it's, oh my God, people freaking out because they're changing something. And a lot of people just don't like change. I'm not crazy about change. I like it when something works. If it's not broken, don't try to fix it. But in this particular case, I wanted to wait until it was into effect, and I thought about opting out of it, and I thought, no, that doesn't make any sense, because, there's going to be people who, stay opted in, and then their shipping price is going to be a lot better than the people who opted out. And then they got to pay attention to that. They got to see, okay, am I getting less sales? Because now you just moved yourself further down on the list by opting out. And then the people who stay opted in have now been lifted. So just a different point of view in that, but that's what makes sense to me. So, okay, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. And like and subscribe, share the video, and comment down below. And point of interest, this is, in my opinion, does not mean it's right. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It's my opinion. I'll see you next time. Bye.